6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavela and read by Vibhuda Vijay Bandara. Headlines. The debate of the second reading of the appropriation draft bill will commence today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has requested everyone to join to build the nation, leaving aside their political aims. Another round of discussions with the IMF will be held today. Registration of the three-wheelers in Western Province will commence tomorrow. A new circular has issued to prevent delays in response to problems and inquiries made by the public at state institutions. And in foreign news, last Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev dies at 91. Moving on to the news in detail. The debate of the second reading of the appropriation draft bill will commence today. It will be held tomorrow and Friday as well. The vote to pass the appropriation draft bill will be held on Friday evening. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has requested everyone to join to build the nation, leaving aside their political aims. He said it will pave the way to create a nation that moves forward competitively with the world. Presenting the second reading of the interim budget in Parliament yesterday, the President said if not, the country would be isolated. The preliminary foundation to change the economic system in the country so far would be laid through this budget. A national economic policy for 25 years should be prepared. The President said that the detailed policy to build a new economy will be presented through the budget next year. The retirement age of the government and semi-government sectors has been reduced to 60 years. Employees who have exceeded 60 years should retire on the 31st of December. The value-added tax will be increased from 12% to 15%, which will come into effect from the 1st of next month. The loans taken by the farmers with less than 2 hectares of land will be written off. More than 28,000 farmers are expected to benefit by this move. The funds due to the relevant banks will be credited to those by the Treasury. 350 million rupees have been allocated in this regard. The government revenue will be increased by 15% by 2025. Pregnant mothers will get an additional 2,500 monthly payment apart from the 20,000 rupee allowance given at present. 10,000 rupees will be given for 4 months to 61,000 low-income recipient families from the 1st of next month. Subsidies will be given to small boat owners and their estate families without electricity. Moving on, the new revenue proposals will be implemented from the 1st of October. With that, printing of money will be reduced. Tax administration is expected to prevent non-payment of taxes. It was proposed to register everyone above the age of 18 years at the Inland Revenue Department. Social security funds will be utilized for education, health services and public transport. A supervising director general is scheduled to be appointed to prevent fraud and corruption at state institutions. State employees should be managed for an efficient management of expenditure. The state sector will refrain from purchasing vehicles using fossil fuel. It is essential to refrain from taking decisions that disrupt the economy. A committee will be appointed to remove discarded items piled up at state institutions. An independent debt management institute will be established under the Treasury. Steps will be taken to send money directly to the accounts of beneficiaries to implement welfare programs more efficiently. The programs implemented by the government at present to provide a monthly allowance for those who have been affected due to the decrease in agriculture productions will be continued for the next 4 months. The sum of the allowance paid for 1.7 million families will be increased between 5,000 rupees to 7,500 rupees. It has been proposed a temporary allowance of 5,000 rupees for the persons in the waiting list of Samurdhi. Educational opportunities will be opened for foreign students by encouraging private educational institutions. This news was brought to you by the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with local news, another round of discussions with the IMF will be held today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the IMF representatives will meet to seek the solutions for present economic crisis. Several positive responses were discussed in the meeting held last Friday. IMF representatives, legal expert and senior officials of the CBSL participated on the meeting held last Friday. Registration of three-wheelers in Western Province will commence tomorrow. The program will be initiated under the concept of Minister Bandula Gunawardena. All three-wheeler owners can register by logging on to www.wptxi.lk. It has been identified that there are around 350,000 three-wheelers in the Western Province. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued a new circular to prevent delays in response to problems and inquiries made by the public at state institutions. According to the circular, an acknowledgement should be sent to the relevant party within 1 week of receiving a letter. It is compulsory to send a final reply within 4 weeks. It is also compulsory to mention the telephone number of the subject officer, fax number and the email below the signature of the reply letter. All emails sent to the office should be read daily and replies should be given on the same day. If not, a reply should be sent mentioning the date of replying. And that was your local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has said, delivering the interim budget speech in Parliament yesterday, that the government has decided to suspend the purchase of vehicles powered by fossil fuels for the state sector. According to this policy, only electric-powered vehicles will be purchased for the use of the public sector in the future. The President said private sector will be encouraged to use electric vehicles as well. He said this proposal will be implemented step by step and will be completed by January 1st, 2026. That was your main news, Bull.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
In Watchlight, the Department of Examinations say, based on the Advanced Level Examination 2021 results, students who wish to resit the exam can apply online from September 1st to the 8th. The department also said students can apply online for re-evaluation of the exam results in due course. The dates to apply for re-evaluation will be announced by the Examinations Department in the near future.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to the World News Bulletin with the headlines first. The last Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev dies at 91. Heavy fighting in Kherson as Ukraine seeks to retake Russian-held region. Tense calm in Iraq after cleric issues appeal. And now to the world news in detail. Mikhail Gorbachev, the former Soviet leader who brought the Cold War to a peaceful end, has died aged 91. Mr. Gorbachev, who took power in 1985, opened up the then USSR to the world and introduced a set of reforms at home. But he was unable to prevent the slow collapse of the Soviet Union, from which modern Russia emerged. Tributes have been paid worldwide, with UN Chief Antonio Guterres saying he changed the course of history. Mikhail Gorbachev was one-of-a-kind statesman. The UN Secretary-General, Mr. Guterres, wrote in a Twitter tribute, "The world has lost a towering global leader, committed multilateralist, a tireless advocate for peace." The hospital where he died said he had been suffering from a long and serious illness. In recent years, his health has been in decline and he had been in and out of hospital. In June, international media reported that he had been admitted to hospital after suffering from a kidney ailment, though his cause of death has not been announced. Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed his deepest condolences following Mr. Gorbachev's death. His spokesman Dmitry Peskov told Russian news agency Interfax, according to Reuters. Fierce battles have been reported as Ukraine tries to retake Russia-occupied southern Kherson region, but military experts have told the BBC it won't happen quickly. Heavy fighting is continuing. Our soldiers are working around the clock, said Vitaly Kim, who heads the neighboring Mykolaiv region. Ukraine earlier said that it had broken through Russia's first line of defense, but Russia and Ukrainian troops had been fighting during the failed attack. The defense minister in Moscow also said there had been heavy casualties amongst the Ukrainian forces, but the claims by both Ukraine and Russia have not been independently verified. The deadly fighting in Iraq's capital appears to have been subsided after the figure at the center of the crisis told his supporters to end their protests. Hundreds of people have been camped outside the parliament in Baghdad for weeks, dispersed as instructed by influential Shia Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. On Monday, at least 23 of his followers were killed in clashes with security forces and militias aligned with Iran. The violence erupted after Mr. Sadr said he was withdrawing from political life. His announcement followed months of deadlock over formation of a new government. Observers said Mr. Sadr's move might be tactical, having declared his political retirement more than once before. And that was the World News Bulletin. Moving on to development news. According to the central bank, data state revenue reached pre-pandemic levels in the first 5 months of the year by recording 17.5% year-on-year growth in the period. In the 5-month period, the government revenue rose to 811.9 billion rupees from 630.1 billion rupees a year ago, supported by increases in tax rates and one-off retrospective surcharge tax on large companies. The non-tax revenue nearly doubled to 101.3 billion rupees from 60.8 billion rupees a year ago. That was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future. In cricket news, Afghanistan beat Bangladesh by 7 wickets and qualified for the Super 4 in the Asia Cup. Afghanistan top Group B with 2 wins over Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. The winner of Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh clash tomorrow in Dubai will qualify for the Super 4's round. In football news, Fulham boss Marcus Silva praised Alexander Mitrovic as much more than a goal scorer after the 27-year-old inspired the Cottagers to victory over Brighton. Mitrovic pounced for his 100th goal for the club and 5th goal in 5 league games this season, arriving at the back post just after half-time to fire Neeskens Kebano's low cross beyond Robert Sanchez. In tennis news, Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina suffered a shock defeat by qualifier Clara Brulel in the US Open first round. Rybakina had complained about weak leadership on the women's tour, saying she does not feel like the Wimbledon champion because ranking points were not awarded at the All England club. Seated 25th in New York, the 23-year-old was beaten 6-4, 6-4 by world number 131 Burrell. Earlier on Tuesday, world number 1 Iga Swiatek won in straight sets.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Indian multi-billionaire Mukesh Ambani has announced a $25 billion equivalent to 21.3 billion pounds plan to launch 5G mobile internet services in the country within 2 months. Mr. Ambani, who heads the telecoms to retail group Reliance Industries, says the high-speed network will be introduced first in major cities, including New Delhi and Mumbai. He said it will then expand to the rest of India by December 2023. The company is also working with Google to develop a budget 5G smartphone. Speaking on Monday at Reliance's annual general meeting, Mr. Ambani said that once the firm's 5G network is fully operational, it will be the biggest in the world. The service will be rolled out through Reliance's subsidiary Jio, which is India's largest mobile carrier.
Business News, Sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10-second prize winners. iPhones for the 10-third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In economic news, the discovery of thousands of undeclared private swimming pools in France has provided an unexpected windfall for French tax authorities. Following an experiment using artificial intelligence, more than 20,000 hidden pools were discovered. They have amassed some 10 million euros in revenue, French media is reporting. Pools can lead to higher property taxes because they boost property value and must be declared under French law. The software, developed by Google and French consulting firm Capgemini, spotted the pools on aerial images of 9 French regions during a trial in October 2021. That was development news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
After economic news, it's the weather report. A low-level atmospheric disturbance is likely to develop in the vicinity of Sri Lanka. Hence, showers or thunder showers will occur over most parts of the island during the evening or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in southern, Sabragamur, central, Uva, northwestern, north central and eastern provinces. Showers may occur in western and southern provinces during the morning too. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers.
A strength to your life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
The headlines again. The debate of the second reading of the appropriation draft bill will commence today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has requested everyone to join to build the nation, leaving aside their political aims. Another round of discussions with the IMF will be held today. Registration of three-wheelers in Western Province will commence tomorrow. A new circular has issued to prevent delays in response to problems and inquiries made by public at state institutions. And in foreign news, last Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev dies at 91. With that, we end a main news bulletin.